how much longer can you do?
This is America's starting five.
Okay.
I can't think of anything more disrespectful to black people to assume that by putting kente cloth on and bowing your knee and closing your eyes, that somehow you've done something. When our kids are shot at the highest rate in the country, I can't understand why they believe that they can disrespect the community, not by showing up, but by doing that on marble floors in the Capitol in $2,000 suits, that somehow that makes them relevant to the community. I can't understand, as a poor kid born and raised in the deep South, in a single parent household, mired in poverty, how that is supposed to communicate that you care about me. Here's how I know you care about me. Give me a school that doesn't require lots and lots of cops and a metal detector. Give me the same quality education as you give other kids. How about this? How about let's create entrepreneurs who have access to capital, so they create jobs and hire people from the community like I did. I keep hearing these voices.
Vote for every one of those measures you just talked about.
Absolutely.
They will 100% vote against it.
100%. And the most conservative person I've ever met in the black community was my grandmama. She understood, if you don't have it, you don't spend it. If you can't afford it, you don't get it. And if you do, you get your behind whooped for doing so. The rules I grew up with are the same rules that we all grew up with. We just need to be very proud of the success brought to the community by our party, by us.
This is extremely condescending. And you see the one in Darshiki Pelosi, in a state that 75% of the black boys cannot read and write. This is 2017. They vote against choice. They vote against doing anything. They will stay silent. If it was an illegal, that would be a big deal. They would make sure they do everything to say how unfair it is. These folks don't have a chance for opportunity for the American dream. These same folks look at what's happening in DC. We have zero proficiency in math with 13 different districts. We cannot succeed, we cannot think. We don't have an education, and we're allowed to have the hopelessness that these guys bring on. So it is very condescending, called the soft bigotry of low expectation, that they can do something like this and think Americans are going to buy into it. And we did in the past, but that's changing. We now are in a position where we're so sick and tired of the condescending, the attitudes, the attack on our American way, and that's what these guys here with their Darshikis are doing right now.
I'm going to quote their fearless leader, Joe Biden. And Joe Biden said, and I quote, "Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids."
Wow.
And so quoting their fearless leader, Joe Biden, we know better.
Yeah.
We know better. We know that these performative gestures do nothing to benefit our community, because I don't have to say black people are smart. They have to say that. We are created equal. The good Lord put talent distributed evenly across the world, but opportunity has not. And you have one party, the Republican Party, that is fixated on taking opportunity into the community. I was so proud of the draft that just happened in Detroit. And I was actually very, very proud that Detroit selected, 24th, but we had the 29th pick because we finished so well in the NFL playoffs.
Just like bragging to me,
It's like, oh, you know, hey, sorry, not sorry. The Lions are the best team in the world.
I hear what you're saying.
But it was great to showcase how far the city, the downtown, has come. It looked beautiful. So many people did such a great job, and I applaud the NFL for coming to Detroit. But here's the thing. We need to do much more work in the neighborhoods to create a pipeline of prosperity to people who are living in near poverty in our neighborhoods, who are disproportionately black. This is what I talk about when I say that talent has been evenly distributed across the world, but opportunity has not. And the policies that Republicans bring that opportunity, that education, that entrepreneurship, that choice, that Democrats, through their policies, while they're on their knees pandering for black votes in election years, they don't bring.
But not a single one of them supports school choice. Right? Not a single one of them is asked the Biden administration to stop closing charter schools. Not a single one of them has said a single thing about poor kids in inner cities being trapped on the wrong side. It is not. It is not about opportunity.
That's right.
How about this? Not a single one of them are focused on getting the family unit back.
Oh, listen.
The family, which is where we were all blessed to be in an environment, a community. We all saw what it was to have a discipline, to have respect for mom and other women. All the things that high expectation for ourselves. We grew up in an environment, and right now this urban community does not have it. 80% of these women are raising kids on their own.
Because when you're not dependent on your Lord, when you're not dependent on your family, when you're not dependent on individual responsibility, then you're dependent on what? The government, and these shysters get to keep their jobs.
Here's what it appears to me that it is strategic in nature. When the Smithsonian gets $1 billion to say that whiteness includes hard work, that whiteness includes 2 parents in a household, that math is now racist. I mean, you cannot spend my dollars telling us that having 2 parents in a household is somehow racist, that working hard is somehow racist. My grandfather taught me with his 3rd grade education that hard work was a necessary component of you staying in this house.
Right.
And he didn't wait until you graduated. It wasn't in high school. This was like 2nd grade. You're gonna figure out how to work hard immediately. You're gonna figure out how to read immediately. You remember the old book that said, if you want to hide something, put it in a book? That's not exactly what it said. I was being kind with my quote. But the point is this, that every child in every zip code deserves quality education. The fairness of our nation will be measured by the quality of education, not the color of your skin. School choice actually delivers people from oppression, from poverty, to opportunity and prosperity. We gotta get serious about that single issue. We changed the inner cities almost overnight.
I'll tell you what, the failure, I believe that a quality education is a basic civil right, and the wanton failure of the power brokers to withhold a quality public, charter, private, homeschool, whatever, there should be no wrong path to prosperity, but the power brokers' refusal to provide quality education is a civil rights violation, and I will make it my mission to make sure they're held accountable.